Thank you so much for thank you so much for the host who gave me time to moderate these discussions. Actually, let me introduce myself first. My name is Masur. I'm Indonesian International Islamic University, which is located in Depok City. So, yeah, as the host mentioned that I come from Lombok, in distant part of Lombok. So if you want to visit Lombok, you can just tell me. So tonight we're gonna discuss about the marriage, in KUA, what so called in English as uh, the religious office affairs. I mean the religious affairs office. So for the foreigners who doesn't understand about the KUA means that a state office to legalize the civil affairs, like marriage, uh, divorce and inheritance. Social media platform like Twitter, particularly the millennial and Z generations. They get married in KUA. They think that they got a benefit. The first benefit that they think that by marrying in KUA, it would be more simple and practical, and then they don't need to pay more about the wedding party. So they will pay less for the expenses. So after the marriage, the bar will be lesser, and many reasons. But however, it turned out in the stigma of the society that marriage in KUA, uh, they will be labeled as a couple who have no capital of marriage, or well, what so-called in Bahasa Indonesia is nggak ada. They have no capital to get married. So we're gonna discuss about this tonight. So I hope you can be um, more energetic and active to participate. I will firstly I will start my slide. Okay. So there are 9 questions uh, will be expressed tonight. So I hope you can participate. So before we going to the discussions, do you have questions? I want to make sure that do you know about marriage in KUA? If you know, please raise your hand.
I do. I know, Mr. It's the new trend, right? It is viral in social media nowadays.
Yeah. So maybe another participants, do you know the trends of marriage in KUA?
Kindly, kindly raise your hand if you want to speak out your mind, and the moderator can notice that and provide you with a place to raise your opinion. Okay.
Okay, Adele, please. Adele.
Yeah, I know that. Like recently, I saw like a lot of pictures in Instagram, like people post their marriage in KUA. So it's like nice. I think it's cheaper.
Yeah, it's more cheaper. So anyone else? Oh, Ekalita, please.
Yeah, me and my husband getting married. We invite the KUA to our wedding, and um, I think for administration is good, but when my cousin want to get divorced and he was difficult to have the paper of divorce because he has to pay like 5 million, and he is not rich, so for him 5 million is a lot of money, and then he cannot have the divorce paper, and he married his second wife um, without a divorce paper with the first wife, but they are divorced in religion, yeah, but not in the country, yeah, because
Oh,
it's too
I see.
expensive.
So anyone else? Okay. Probably we need to go directly to our discussions. The first questions. The first question is, what is the ideal wedding arrangements that you had in mind? Okay. Okay, Ekalita.
My idol in mind that I thought that the couple is always in harmony, right? And they always in the same tone and in the same words. Maybe many couples thought that if they find their mate and they will be like piano maybe, and they never fight. And in the first phase of my marriage with my husband, we less fight, and we always in a harmony. But we have been shocked in the middle because exactly as a couple we are individual also, and maybe that's a more little bit challenging because like we know that the twins is cannot have the same nature, right? And then that's why I said that we have to let an ego, and that's why the God governed the women to be a follower, because it's very difficult if in the household two egos dominated each other, and there's no one want to be a subordinate. Yeah.
Okay. You raised a little bit low, but I can get the point. So maybe another participant want to contribute. I mean, to answer this question.
I think I have ideas about that. May I say something, Mas Mashur?
Could you please mention your name? Or before you speaking, please raise your hand so I can answer.
All right.
Okay. Master student also in my
Yeah.
campus. So what do you think? What is the ideal wedding arrangement?
Yeah, actually, in my ideas related to it's terms of the ideal wedding arrangement, right? I mean, when we want to get married, so what should we do at the time?
Yeah.
So I think personally, probably in my mind, that based on my understanding of religion, I mean, based on the religious perspective, that we have to understand in Islam, marriage case is probably not really, I mean, we do not make someone in difficult situations in terms of marrying someone. I mean, don't make someone feel difficult when they want to get married, because in Islam, in terms of, for instance, give marriage or mahar, I think it's what Nabi said. I mean, the Aisar move on you if you have capability to give mahar or give marriage to your couple. So you can do that. You can do that. But if you do not capability, do not have capability to have kind of the big mahar or give marriage to big, it's just depend on your capability. So in my mind, in terms of the ideal wedding arrangement, is based on your what let's say
based on budget.
Budget, and also depend on your with your couples, what you and your couples want to have kind of the wedding arrangement.
So what I got from Rashid, that the ideal wedding arrangement is should be based on the situations of the couple itself. Yeah, even in Islam, they doesn't try to make the couple. I mean, do only have to have a
even in
wedding.
Islam, based on my understanding, historically speaking, that there was kind of unique history when someone in prophet period just memorizing one of the chapter in Quran, it will be considered as the gift marriage. Hifdul Quran, memorizing chapter of the Quran is considered as the gift marriage, mahar, in the prophet period. So it was happen at the time.
Wow, it's new for me that only reading Al-Quran it can be gifted gift of the marriage. So
yeah. So the point is don't make kind of difficult, but socially traditions, like we have to appreciate each other, we have to esteem our couples, our families, something like that. So it's just based on the social perspective, but from the religious perspective, it's not really big issue, big problem to have kind of the couples to get married, something like that. But in terms of the social traditions perspective and something like that, so we need to make higher, appreciate each other in terms of giving marriage, give marriage or mahar to our couple, in my opinion.
okay, as long as the mahar is not difficult for the couple, yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So do you have any have any thought, Rafi? So
No,
or not, we can move to
another questions.
another participants. Could you please raise your hand? Do you have any idea or thought about the ideal wedding arrangement? Anyone? Okay. Turmuzi Tahir. Okay, you can speak.
Well, thank you for Mr. Masur. I think what the ideal wedding arrangement that in our religion, that it has been what we diatur gitu And in the culture, especially in Lombok culture, sir, that's what we say. The parents make us that so hard to do an ideal wedding arrangement, because if we marriage here, as the culture that we should be ready about the money, perhaps maybe 50 billion. So
15 billion?
50.
You mean million, right? Okay.
50. Maybe I don't know the between in Sasak, in Lombok, also there are so many cultures, right? But especially in my village, that yeah, it's so hard to do the wedding. I mean, if we do as our base our capability, that yeah, the effect of it is our parent getting shy. So that will limit us for marriage. So I think it should be erased, the culture.
Yeah.
But it's so hard, I think, because it's like, what do you say, tertanam in the parents and or the old people here. That's all, sir.
Okay. As Tormuji said that in Lombok tradition, it's difficult to hold any wedding party, since we need much budget, even compared to other cultures in Indonesia. So Tormuji said it will be erased because it's this benefit the millennials to get married. I mean, this will restricted the millennials to get married. So I see Adele raise hand. Could you please? You can speak.
Okay. I think besides about the budget, I think also if we should really have a good attention before we get married. It really does matter, because intention is always a really big deal in our life every time we do anything. So never get married just because of you feel get older and you feel anxious because many people keep saying, like, keep asking, hey, when do you get married, or like something. So just to have a really good intention gitu. And then the second one, I think our mental also matter, mentality. And we have to know that we get married with an imperfect person, right? Because nobody is perfect. So we have to normalize about the lack of someone else, even our couple. Really does matter. That's it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Adele, I agree with you. Mental is matter when you talk about marriage. You know, marriage is the time to meet two persons. So we will meet imperfect persons in our life. So we will try to like understand their weaknesses. So it's gonna be difficult. So we need to think a lot when we should get married, when we are ready to get married. So anyone else? So if not,
Wait. Once more.
okay, Arafi,
actually, I want to add something that related to the traditions it was really I think impressive for me that when I was in Egypt, the tradition is really strict for those people who want to marry the couple. In terms of their traditions in Egypt, actually they have to kind of apartment or living house, or maybe and after and also like the car transportations. They have to this kind of these matters before getting married. So it's I think just like for I mean to make sure that those people after getting married, so they can be able to survive for their lives. So it's kind of these traditions. I think the strict traditions before getting married in Egypt is really nice. It's really kind of the one of social pressure that to maintain their marriage matters after this kind of the marriage arrangement. So it's happened in Egypt. So it's really different when we compare to Indonesia, particularly in North Indonesia, but some regions in Indonesia. So it's really, I think, just for making sure that those people can be able to survive their life after getting married. So, but it's really strict one. For us, it really is I think it's almost difficult. But otherwise, many I found many people that in terms of their age is really not really young, and I mean maybe we found up to 40 or 45, they are not getting married. So it's common for them because these traditions force them to make sure to have kind of these requirements. So it's really, it's my experience. Thank you.
Okay, good thought from our brother Rafi. He mentioned about his experience when he studied in Egypt about the wedding. Yeah, as a couple, they need to consider about the medical stuff before getting married. They are ready or not. So probably another participants want to speak. Or I see Sophie just now raise his hand, her hand. You want to speak, Sophie?
No.
No. Okay, so let's move to probably I will check one by one. Adib Zahwa, you want to speak about this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Do you have thought?
Yeah, I wanted to give my opinion a little bit. May I?
Yeah. The question is, what is the ideal wedding arrangements?
Yeah.
In your opinion.
Wait, thank you. For me, in my opinion, that the ideal wedding arrangement can be, in my opinion, the ideal wedding arrangement has been like, the people who's going to get married, definitely like to should prepare yourself from the what we talk, let me say that there other people say that about the mental or budget and another, like, so yeah, that's the point that the get marriage, that after you get married you can to have a good life, but should have a but should have a prepare for that, because if you just like to, because it's not like to like simple thing getting married, and yeah, probably like getting married, they should to like should have a good preparation before that. And because it's not like a simple thing. And yeah, I think that's maybe.
Okay, thank you so much for your thought. Let me go to the another participants. Jusman, Serenity Ismo, Rin Putri Damayanti, Satria, do you have any thoughts? If not, we can go to the second question. Okay. So the second question is about economic situations. Do you think how much budget is needed to prepare for a wedding ceremony? Probably, if you talk about your context or your traditions, you can just mention if you're not really sure about your speaking with your speaking skill. Okay, Lita, please. And after that, Adele. Could you please loud your speaker?
Um, it is clear.
Oh yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Refer to the hadith. I think we didn't have a need much budget, but in the social life, regarding to the parents, to the society, to the traditionals, I think it's a lot kind of difficult because if we force to our own perception, then we will against our old people, right? And then there will be matters there. So I think about the budget, it depends the situation. If we can decide by ourselves, it's okay. You have to a lower budget because I think the couple is need more for the honeymoon and for the house and maybe for the cars or maybe for their children for the savings. It's the most important because the life is not about the wedding party, right? It's just only a couple hours, mostly if we didn't reach, and it will be a problem after the marriage. We don't have any saving, we don't have for they didn't have house and they have to rent the house, and in the other side they can finance a wedding party around 100 million. It's a lot of money, but after the marriage they cannot afford to buy a house or buy cars or have a saving for their child. I think it's a poor because we didn't have cannot put the priority in the track. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the thoughts. So what I get from your point is that our marriage should be based on our situations, and we need to consider after the marriage too, like our saving, our what the house we need to be built. Also, because sometimes most of the people follow the trends of the marriage with luxurious wedding party, and after that they will be poor after that.
Yeah. But as I said, it's a little bit in Indonesia mostly. It's very difficult to against the old, yeah, and the tradition, and so that's why I think that we should consider the condition. But if the old can understand and the society can understand, so why we don't use the money for the proper, right? But if we cannot against that, so maybe we also have to compromise, and maybe we have to have more effort after the marriage.
Okay, thank you so much for the thoughts, for your ideas. It means a lot. So let's go to Mas Tommy, please.
Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, it's clear.
Clear. Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah, I'm sorry. Firstly, I have intention to just a listener in this discussion, but I don't know why I have a lot of ignition in my mind to deliver my thought, yeah, my perception.
Okay, Mas.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Just considering my age, yeah, because I'm a married man in this situation, and it was happened 17 years ago. I was married with my wife, and this question is looks like everlasting question every time for people who want to be married, right?
Okay.
And then it's always appear, this question is always appear in the first time they will decide this is the right time to having marriage or not, right? So the current economic situation, based on the current economic situation, you make us a borderline in your first statement. Current economic situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not really different for every era. I think everyone who will be married, it's always have in the present situation at that time, right? So before they decide to be to get married, they will be prepare some of stuff. First, of course, if you are a man, you need to prepare who will be your partner, right? You need to choose. That's the first important item to be chosen one, right? You need to decide who will be your appropriate partner for your entire life. Because if you have the right decision regarding the partner for your life, you will have easiness. Yeah, you will have the question is not difficult to answer among both of you, because the question is not really depending with yourself, but it must be like collaboration, yeah, like collaboration with your partner to be. How much budget is needed to prepare a wedding ceremony? Because if you want to what we call, if you want to announce, yeah, is for me as a Muslim, I have like marriage must be announced to the people, right? And then depend on your networking itself. If you are a president, of course, or you are a son of the president, you must be announced for all of the nation, right? All of the people in the nation. So if you are just people who famous in your uh, little circumstances, little environment, yeah, no worries about that. So
Yeah.
if you agree you are a famous person, you need to be prepared, guys. You need to prepare how much money you want to be a famous, but you have no consideration about the impact. I think it's totally wrong. You need to be prepared. For example, Mr. Sunshine is a really famous in our community. You can calculate how many person need to be invited if Mr. Sunshine decide to be married, right? So that's why how much budget is relative, depend on your networking. However, of course, I do understand our society, our maybe what we call tetua, yeah, what we call the leader of the society always have like a tradition, something like if you go to the Kalimantan, if I'm not mistaken, or uh, they call cucuran, something like that. Yeah, it's look like the money should be prepared to buy to pay a man as your husband to be, right? It's look like in Minang, you know, I forget, I forget the name of the
matrilineal.
Yeah. The man must be paid by the woman if they want to be married, and then depend on the tradition. I think prepare money is a must for the people who want to decide to be married soon. That's why we need to have the third. I see first you need to decide your partner, and the second you need to decide, you need to consider your networking, how it is, and then the third is your tradition. You need to prepare regarding the tradition behind you. If you are Japanese people, Japanese is look like you need to decide who you will follow the ceremony, the tradition ceremony, or you just like the modern guys, right? You need to prepare. Should you have the pre-wedding photo or not? That's depend on you, right? If me, I just need the I must comply for the main activity, for the like just what we call cosmetic. I don't care about that one. I just need the main activity. What is the main activity of the marriage? It's the ijab kabul, right?
Okay, ijab kabul.
Yeah, ijab kabul, the main activity as a gift if you want to be married with someone. For the other activity, wedding, pre-wedding, and or maybe pre-ceremony is not really important. But if you have money or you need to be prepared it for your parent, for example, because sometimes our parent needs that, right? They have a relation, our parents have like community, and then they need it. If you want to be married, you need to keep in your mind deeply. You want to marry your partner, right?
Okay.
You need to unite the family, right?
Okay.
So that's why you need to prepare. How much money? I think 100 is. Yeah, it's
And
enough.
that is ideal, ideal budget.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, just prepare 100. No worries about where you will get the money. Just keep in your mind 100 is the suitable number for people who want to be married.
Okay,
thank you,
so
Mr.
much.
Masur. Let's get
Mr. Tommy, thank you so much for the insight. So I got from Mr. Tommy that we need to consider about which one is the appropriate for our couples, and then we need to consider also our networkings. If you have many networkings, we need to anticipate how many budget that we can prepare for it. So the collaboration between the two couples also needed when we will get married. So Lombok culture, in Lombok traditions, all the expenses of marriage are covered by the man. So the women only come to the man to help the party as the princess. So because we are very patrilineal, we partisan. So Mr. Sansen, you can speak.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Mashur, for the time. Firstly, I'd like to criticize what has been delivered by Mr. Tommy in regard to as the nominal that should be prepared for the wedding ceremony. At the very first time,
it's gonna be tough, right?
Yeah. At the very first time, he mentions that we need to at least estimate the exact number of guests will be invited, right? So the proportions of money will be relevant or equal in line with the nominal that need to be prepared later on. But at the end of his speech, he delivered that 100 million is the exact money needed. Somehow, if Mr. Tommy was not married yet, and he is going to hold his marriage, I believe that 100 million is not enough for him, because he somehow will now not only in his community, in this community, but also in Indonesia, I suppose, right? Okay.
Inshallah.
Yeah. The next, I'd like to also utter my own statement right here that I disagree that the budgets need to be prepared. I mean, like, if I were a government, I would like to impose an official wedding ceremony fees, regardless of the petition. We would like to inform officially to our society that this will be the exact nominal needed to prepare or to hold wedding ceremony. Okay, unable to do this, fail to provide this standardized nominal, we would be easy to find so many people, especially young one, couldn't conduct their marriage because of the fear, because of the anxiety of couldn't provide such fantastic or glorified wedding ceremony. And also being chained over the tradition, as what has been said by Mr. Masur, for example, in the case of Lombok, where the man should bear all the burdens. Of course, the man will be more reluctant to get married because they need a longer time to prepare for the money, right? Okay, so I believe that there should be a policy given by the governments to incentivize the willingness of people to get married, because marriage is somehow because Indonesia that is dominated by Muslim population. I believe that getting married is somehow strongly suggested to get a safer way of interactions between man and women. So I suppose in regard to the second point of Mr. Tommy, counting the guests, I guess we can learn from what happened in COVID-19 pandemic, like in which the guests were limited in terms of the number. So I guess that as the government need to also impose the same rule, so that we do not need to prepare an excessive nominal of wedding ceremony. Okay, so and that's why regardless of the tradition, regardless of the guest, we need a certain number, or otherwise they could be invited virtually, and that would be the key solution for it. Okay, so given such taking this alternative for granted, I believe that everybody would have a strong desire to get married, because they do not need to veer of the traditions, and also they do not need to worry about the number of guests at the same time. Even though I know that to announce our wedding ceremony is important, but it doesn't obviously or explicitly state the number of guests that need to be invited in our wedding ceremony. I think that's for me, Mr. Marshall. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for Mr. Sansens who gave the talk. Yeah, I agree with you, totally agree with you. The government should take role to the wedding expenses. You know, in Indonesia is currently having 61 million singles. I think they have a strong desire to get married, as Mr. Sansan said. So maybe another participant want to speak up. Please raise your hand. No? Okay. Okay, Lucky, please.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Mr. Mashu. Yes, thank you for having me in here. And yes, based on currently for the economic situation, yeah, want to marry, want to get married. It means that, yeah, it's like, yeah, the big issue for young generation now, because they have to prepare for their money, yeah, to get married with their couples. And but it depends on the culture, it depends on their custom. Like me, I'm Batak custom, we need to pay the couples, we need to pay the girl, right? In here, it approximately we have to pay around 100 million rupiah, to get their to get the girl, so that is the most expensive for preparing the wedding for Batak custom, so yes, that's why for Batak custom it's very difficult, to make marriage celebration, marriage celebration in my city. So we need to work hard to get more money and to prepare the money and to prepare everything. According to about the financial, about the economy. Yes, okay, maybe just like that from my opinion.
So thank you, Mas Luki, for your thought. You mentioned that it's very difficult to get married for men because I mean probably because the Batak culture, the Batak played the patrilineal systems, same like Lombok like traditions, which mostly men covered all the wedding expenses. Thank you so much, Mas Luki. So we go to other participants. Do you have thoughts for these questions? The current economic budget, the budget needed to prepare for wedding ceremony. If not, okay, we have no, okay. Ekalita first, you can speak.
I think based on the current economic situation, mostly people have to more being efficient, because I think the current economics force us have to have the proper priority, because if you don't, you will have some problems here, because the economics is not good. But if economics is good, of course, it's up to you. Maybe you have a little bit harder after the marriage, but you can still survive. But in current economics, I think people have to more wise. Yeah, maybe they have to minimum their marriage budget and more concerned for after marriage obligation, because it will hard for them if they didn't think efficiently about this.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Ekalita. I see Adele just now raise her hand. Okay, Adele, where is Adele? After that, Ririn. You wanna share your thought, Adele? or we go to Ririn?
You can go to the next. Thank you, sir.
Ririn, hello?
Okay, thank you, Mr. For me, I think much budget is needed to prepare a wedding ceremony. Depends ourselves, and then depends our culture, especially in my village. Mahar depends high education. So if you choose the girl and the girl have a high education, so you should prefer the big money. And then I think mostly every woman have a dream wedding, right? And then wedding just once to our life. And then I think this is maybe someone can say if you if you do a big wedding and then spend our money, I think maybe that's why men so to hard work, because he not just give money for mahar, but you have a value to be a girl. And then your parents firstly your parents especially protect your partner until adult, and then give the best education for this woman. So I think that's why men to be hard work for to get the dream woman.
Okay, thank you so much. You mentioned that we need to consider the woman education to decide the how much budget we need. Yeah, thank you so much. Maybe another participants want to share their thought. If not, we go to the next questions. Okay, no? Okay, let's go to, okay. Okay, we give time to R, please.
Hello, sir. Sorry, I'm newcomer here. Actually, my friends how to say send me the link. Actually, that's good. About we're talking about marriage. Actually, I'm from Makassar. Maybe you know, sir.
Yeah, I know Makassar. I
Actually,
have some students and friends also from Makassar.
yes, sir. Actually, I just want to talk about my experience in Makassar. Actually, so many people think that Bugis, special about women, very expensive here. Actually, yeah, I agree what how to say idols say. Yeah, actually, before I'm married, sir, before I'm married, I have to hard work because
Oh,
so we just don't need about how to say the girl, maybe how to say the girl maybe like love us, actually love me, but the other family maybe just think like, oh, we need more money because they want to like ceremony and other. But actually, I just my suggestion is we have to hard work, sir. That's it.
okay. We just need to
Because
have
maybe
hard.
you know,
Okay.
so many how to say like so many news viral in the sosmed. That's special about business women. Wow, very expensive.
Oh, oh, businesswoman
So,
also. Bugis woman. Sorry, Bugis woman also expensive, right? So
yeah,
you need to work hard for getting
of
money.
course, sir. We just how to say if you just have a money 5 million maybe, oh no, you cannot.
It's not enough then.
Yeah, not enough.
Okay, thank you for
Thank
your
you, sir.
thought, Mr. R. So we go to the next questions. Okay, the next questions is about what we have a certain wedding tradition in our country, such as determining the date of the wedding or the higher the educational background of the bride, the bigger dowry must be paid by the groom. Do you think this tradition is not longer relevant and should be changed? Why? This Samshad, could you please? Okay, so Sophie, you
Yes,
have
sir.
thought? Okay.
I just trying to not to be passive. So
That's good then.
yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I'm actually from Makassar as well, even though I grew up in Samarinda. So I basically just born there, but pretty much every year I went to my grandma's house to celebrate Islamic big days. So I have my majority of family is actually from Makassar, and then it's true there is the tradition that the higher values, quote unquote, that the girls have, it means the boy or the groom soon to be need to pay more than usual. I agree at some point because that's the way you showing your respect to the parents before you taking the kids, the daughter. But in some cases it just so out of my mind, like it doesn't make sense at all. For example, if the girl have degree like bachelor, you got 50 million rupees. But if the girl already have experience to went to Saudi Arabia for umrah, it got higher. For example, 70 million rupiah. And if the girl is the first child of the family, it even higher.
Oh.
So if you marry a girl who already bachelor, not talking about master degree, and already go to Saudi Arabia for umrah, and she's the first child in the family, and also the father is, for example, a soldier or police, have a good position in the society, you'll pay like around 200 millions of rupees, which is so impossible for good for you if you're rich, but it's so messed up when the boy have a regular a job, like the majority guys who live in Makassar, like have five 3 until 5,000 million, sorry, rupees per month as their income. So when will the boy could finally marry the girl that he loves if the standard so much higher that the family put it in the groom, what is that, shoulder. That is why there is a lot of cases that we call it kawin lari. And then yeah, of course there's some family that have a modern perspective that is okay as long as you guys love each other and you guys have financially independent, and you guys also mature enough as a emotional, just go married. But also there's another case that the both of family faking the agreement, for example, in order to make the society think that, oh, this girl valued enough by the groom. But the money that the amount of money or the number of money that have been published in society is not the real amount of money. For example, oh, my daughter got paid by the groom like 100, but the reality on the table, they just give 50 million rupees. That is the agreement that only both family privately, secretly keeping from the society, in order to still make the good impression to the neighborhood that my daughter have like hundred of millions uang panay for her marriage, which I think it's very toxic tradition already, because we're just fooling each other for the sake of social status. And and it's sad to be true, but because in this 2023 these cases still a lot happen in my hometown. So this is not like what is that, small cases, but this is like a general cases that we face where the hometown we're living in. I think that's it from me, sir.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sophie. You enlightened me about your tradition in your tradition in Makassar, that for marrying a woman from particularly woman who go for the umrah, it will be more. I mean, the expenses will higher compared to women who never go for umrah.
Yeah, that's right.
So even if their father are shorter, even have high positions in village, it will more higher. So
Yeah,
it's a new for me, you know. Thank you so much for the enlightenment.
sure.
Thank you, Sophie. So probably we have another participant who want to share their experiences or their thought. Anyone? Okay. Who? Please.
Thanks for the chance given, Mr. Mashur. Wow. In terms of responding his opinion, I would like to talk about. I was creating the story for someone who wants to marry. I'd like to consider that the cost of marriage, it depends on the couples, the way they talk or they convert each other. Last year, my cousin asked me for creating the story, so that several stories that I know, the way how to fulfill the wedding ceremony, it seems like less than 1 million as far as what I created. There were 10 couples that I have made for the story, but the most expensive one was 700,000 rupiahs. It doesn't include all the weddings and so on, but I was the creator to make the story, so that I would like to think over about the culture in Bugis in Pariaman, which were famous or popular about
Pariaman.
Panay.
Could you please tell me what is Pariaman?
Pariaman, the place which is in Padang, that I got information from there.
Is it in Padang?
Yeah, in Padang. Pariaman in Padang.
So you, in your tradition, you apply the matrilineal system, right?
I'm curious about that culture because several months ago, when I was just in university, I asked to my docent. She told me about that culture, wedding culture. Seems like, yeah, it seems to be similar with the Bugis, but the cost is not expensive as in Bugis. The most popular case in Padang is in Pariaman. You know that the boy will be bought by a woman. It's not because of it underestimated boy, but it is the model for their long-term future to survive together. That's what my docent told me. So I just say that. So for boy, why do we have to work hard to fulfill the wedding ceremony as a pattern, right?
Everyone should work harder for the
It will
ceremony.
be inexpensive because the woman will buy the boy. It is the culture in Pariaman. Okay, can I marry me? So I do need to prepare a lot of stuff to fulfill the wedding ceremony and so on.
Yeah, so yeah.
And I met a Bugis book is that for senior high school, I don't know, maybe Miss Sophie and someone who comes from Makassar will confirm about. For senior high school, the task will cost 60 millions rupiahs. If they were bachelor and so on, it will be more than that.
Oh,
Okay.
what
When
about
we pack,
if?
yeah.
What if the woman has a bachelor degree, for example?
It
So
will
you
be
need to
more
pay
than
even
60
even
millions.
700 million, right? Isn't
Yeah.
it? So you need to work harder than.
Yeah, as a book is for boy, they I asked them, so what about you? What if you have no
Okay.
money?
Okay.
My mother said to me that for boy, you don't need to have a beauty skin,
Oh,
but you have to be idea to work hard to get a lot of money
okay.
to pursue to fulfill the wedding requirement. Just that.
Hmm.
You don't need to buy skincare and whatever. It doesn't work. It doesn't it doesn't prioritize your requirement in wedding ceremony or wedding party. What the heck? Is it like this?
Okay, Mr.
Just
Su,
that,
thank you so
maybe.
much. Thank you so much for the sharing experience. So let's go to the Anis. After Anis, probably we go to the next question. Anis, are you there?
Wait a second, wait a second, wait a second.
Okay.
Okay, we have certain wedding in the tradition. We have certain wedding in traditional a tradition in our country, such as determining the date of the wedding or the education background of someone or the grade. The bigger the dowry must be paid by the groom. Do you think this tradition is no longer relevant and should be changed, and why? In my opinion, we do not need to change any traditional, which is this traditional doesn't, how to say, doesn't disturb something. I think, yeah, this tradition goes this way, and it is okay, it is fine, it is the unique of our country, right? There is no problem with this, but the problem is wedding or marriage is not someone's activities. It's between two person, right? Sometimes it's between two families, and also sometimes it between two different culture, two different two different family background or something. We do not change it. This is naturally, this is it's okay, it's unique. But back again, who does this activity? So who will do this? It is according to the bridge, I think they should have such agreement. Oh yes, I think this is fine for my family. Is your family okay? Oh yeah, my family feel okay. And how about the life after the wedding? Is it going to be okay? How about the plan? Because we do not talk about a day's party, but about the days after this. If they have enough money and their family doesn't have any problem with the tradition, so why do we think that this is a problem? No, I'm not a teacher in Jago Bahasa, but my friends is. She is a teacher in Jago Bahasa. Are you a teacher in Jago Bahasa? I'm so sorry I answer because the chat appears in my screen. Yeah, actually, we do not need to change any tradition where actually this tradition doesn't disturb anyone who does this tradition. And you know, there is a myth, you should choose the perfect date to get married. I think the eldest say Kliwon Wagib Aing Legi or something like that. I think if we are Muslim, we know that this is Muslim and we do not need to follow it. But sometimes in the name of respect, we respect the elders, right? Yeah. For me, myself, I do not believe it. it depends on the agreements. Do you feel okay? I feel okay. Just respect the parents. You just do this. If it is fun for us, it's okay. Just do this. But actually, I want to respond to the previous question before. What is the ideal wedding arrangement for you? I think, yeah, back again. Who does these activities between two people? So you have to have great agreement. This is not only about a day's party, but how's the life after this? Being logic. If we have about 100 millions, maybe we can use this to build a small business, to prepare for maybe we can, if we still feeling young, if we want to go somewhere, honeymoon, to do anything we want, just do this. We want to give something to our family, maybe we will talk to your partner. Honeys, your family need something with this money. Maybe your mom wants to build something in their house. Maybe this money could make something having more value rather than just a day party. Some people think that way, but for those who think that wedding is pretty important for them, yeah, it's up to them. They do that. They know their economic situation, yeah. But nowadays, according to the economic, many people are being open that we do not only think about the life nowadays. We think about the future. We think about how to save pensiun dini, get retired
Yeah,
soon.
retired soon.
They want to get retired. They want to enjoy the slow living. Do you want to live in the countryside, having your business, your life guarantee, happily living with your partner? If they
Okay.
want to achieve that, and they still have enough money to help the party with the tradition, yeah, just go on. If you do not, yeah, just choose the priority.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay, so we need to follow the women agreement also to pay about the dowry, how much we can pay to the bride, right? So you also mentioned that we need to you need to think about the life after marriage too. So thank you so much, Anis, for sharing your experiences and your thoughts. So let's go to the next question. The question is, some people prefer to have their wedding ceremony held in KUA. Could you mention the other benefits other than efficient budgeting? Will the drawback outweigh the benefits? So I think, okay, do you have a thought about this? So if you think you have no thought about this, we can go to the questions. So the questions, how important is to invite plenty of guests to a wedding ceremony, observing that the ceremony could still run well back then during pandemic. So any thoughts? How is the importance of inviting the many guests to our wedding party? Guys, do you have any thought? Okay, again, Sophie, please.
Is it okay if I talk again?
Of course, it's okay. So yeah, I encourage other participants also to contribute in this discussion.
Yeah, actually, I was raising hand because I saw no one raising their hand. So
Okay.
to avoid the silentness. Related to the question that I have shown on the slide, I think it depends because some people are just so famous and then they have so many colleagues to be involved in their big days, and it is always feel nice to be included in someone someone big days. In this case is wedding. Imagine that you have a you have a very close friend and they just forgot or intentionally not inviting you in their wedding, it's gonna be so sad. But for me personally, if we talking about a personal opinion to each participant here, I would rather choose not more than 50 people, just like garden party only, my main family and my husband main family, that's all. I'm not gonna invite my aunts, my uncles, my I'm sorry, it sounds rude, but this is my wedding, excuse me. I don't want to invite my cousins, not talking about classmates and co-workers, just maybe like best friend, that very close one, because I have a strong reason before people got offended by this. Because I think first, this is my wedding, this is my big day, so it has to be we have to be happy. We please be happy in your wedding, not disturbing by electron, which is not problem at all if you like it. But for me, I prefer not to provide the dangdut one, because it's not only disturbing the neighborhood, but also it's disturbing the it makes the audiences can talk to each other because the lot of the music. So I prefer the intimate situation, intimate party, that only my close friends and a main family attended. Make sure all of us happy there, all of us having a great moment, that we're not only capturing in photographer cameras, but also we actually happy to be there, to be in that moment, like truly. So I think that is when we speak of based on personal preference.
Okay, thank you so much, Sophie. You prefer to have more intimate party for your wedding. So yeah, probably you need to you want to invite only 50 people, right? To your party. So yeah, it's based on it's depend on our what do you say our willingness, how the party look like. So I give time for Skar Arum to speak, please.
All right, thank you for the time, Mr. And actually, I've just joined and I kind of intrigued with the question how important is to invite plenty of guests to our wedding. I also agree with Miss Sophie, but Sophie, make sure that I will be being invited to your wedding, right? Make sure that I will be being invited, Miss Sophie.
Oh my god.
All right. So I also prefer the more intimate wedding because we are not spending lots of our budget on inviting lots of people, but actually our family, like our extended family, tends to invite more people to make them not what is it ashamed to us. Like you should have to invite more people so everyone thinks that you are famous. Actually, I prefer the intimate more because it is like our wedding. It is like our happy moment, not our extended family happy moment. So I prefer like only inviting my closest friend and my image. What is it? My family that is really close to me, that always helping my family when we have a problem, not like the extended family who hasn't been there when we have problems. So yeah, I think that's all for me.
Okay, thank you so much, Skar Arum. So Masomi, please, could you please share your
Okay.
experiences or your thoughts regarding how importance of the people to come to your party?
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea to run my wedding party in the pandemic because I was married for 17 years, right? So that's why if
It's been a long time ago.
Yeah, it looks like a teenager for my marriage time, right? So it's look like good way or have a lot of opportunity to looking for someone new, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm a teenager, right? 17 is the sweet 17s.
Okay, Mas.
So,
Please.
yeah, just comment of Miss Sophie, right? Yeah, if I have ate same as you a long time ago, I have a same opinion, 100% agree with you, Miss Sophie. But if you are a parent and then depend on your age and you have a lot of relationship with peoples, or maybe you have like what we call pet. If you have if you want to have like a good ceremony for your children, I believe you will enforce your child to be to prepare himself, or you will help them to prepare the wedding capital. Because for me, wedding party is it's only one for the entire life, right? So that's why if I'm a parent, I believe a wedding party is only one for the entire life. So that's why I need to prepare perfectly. But of course, it's not 100% perfect, but we keep prepared to deliver the best. That's why pandemic have a lot of challenges for every single person that have intention to marry in the era, right? I believe all of people have want to celebrate their wedding party, want to invite a lot of their colleagues, their relation, their friend, workmates, and so on. So that's why invite a lot of people in your wedding ceremony is a must, is more important. They want I won't get like what we call confession, right? Not confession, what we call award from the people. I'm a married man, right? I am the success man, have her beside me and as a husband, of course. So that's why how important is to invite plenty of guys to wedding ceremony, especially to invite a lot of people for me, of course. That's why the first one I need to prepare is money. But I don't really care about money if I have the suitable partner in my life, my wife, of course. Because if we just thinking by ourselves, not collaborate with our partner, it's of course it's really hard to thinking by yourself. That's why spread your thought, talk with her, talk with him, and choose the right one. Don't choose the wrong. Don't just looks his face. Just look his her face. Look his ability to create money. Right. That's why, but
So we need to consider their profession too.
that's as a part of consideration, right? Of ability to create money, ability to take responsibility, ability to lead the community, and so on. But put the money, put the richness in a last thing that you need to be considered. First, it's of course you need to choose the suitable partner. If you are a famous person, if you are a famous man, you need to choose the girl who will be completely your life. Not a famous as well, but just it's completely your life, because you will see so many actresses having divorce after they married, right? What they are the famous person, but after that who knows, right? So the suitable, it's not only about if you are handsome, you need to get the beautiful girl. If you are beautiful, you not mandatory to get the handsome one. So that's why,
Okay.
coming back to the question, of course, you need to prepare the celebration. The celebration is must be good in your life. And then, yeah, of course, pandemic give you time to earn more money. Thank
Okay,
you.
Mas. Okay, Mas Tommy. Okay, it's our time for discussions is almost over. So yeah, thank you so much for the sharing, Mas Tommy. I think we need to move to the another questions. If there is no a thought or sharing experience again. Any thought or want to share experience? If not, we will go to the next questions. Okay. The question is, you design your wedding style, but your parents or parents-in-law could not approve of the concept. What will you do? Probably you want to design your party as luxury as possible as you want, but your family prefer to get married in KUA, or even you propose to get married in KUA, but your parents need you to hold the wedding party. So what do you think, guys, about this question? Okay, probably. Okay, Sekarang, you may share your thoughts.
All right, thanks for the time. I think I will convince my parents first that like it is our own wedding, it is my own wedding. Actually, to be honest, I want to marry in KUA actually instead of having like luxury kind of wedding because yeah, I don't want to spend my budget only in one day on my wedding. So yeah, at first I would like to convince my parents and like we do some kind of discussion and negotiation. And after that, if my parents like for example don't agree with my what is it my idea, I think I will ask my parents, so do you want to what is it share your budget with me because you're the only one who wants kind of luxury kind of wedding. So yeah, if um my parents cannot agree with me, I would like to ask them what is the solution. So yeah, I think it is my thought about this one. Thank you for the time, Mr. Marshall.
Thank you, Sekarang. Probably another participant want to share the thought for these questions. We have a newcomer here, maybe Kang Adit. You want to share your thoughts? Okay. Another participant, you want to share your thoughts for this question? Okay, again, Sunshine, please.
All right, so it's a little bit tough because the moment you have married someone means that you not only between couple but also the families. I believe that to prepare the wedding style should be also discussed with um, the family's partner, the partner's family. Unless you have an idea to become trendsetter, okay, you want to break the ongoing social constructions. You want to be the ones that finally can be accepted publicly. You want to be the one to be someone that could finally break the chains. Yeah. given by your family. I believe that it depends on parents and parents-in-law contributions to your wedding style, wedding concept. Okay. So long as you as you the one who provide funds, do the budget things for your own wedding style, I believe that the existence of parents and parents-in-law is only limited to provide some suggestions and advices. Or otherwise, it depends on, or otherwise, then you need to follow every commands or suggestions they give you. I think that's my comment, Mr. Hermshaw.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sunshine, for the comments. So probably still any other participant who want to share their thought? If not, we will go to the next questions. Actually, we still have more. We still have 6 minutes for this. The last. Okay, Mas Tommy, please.
Okay. Just answering the last question. If the parents not approve with what with my design of my wedding style, of course, merit it's a part of ability to convince people, right? Firstly, you need to convince your partners to be. Of course, if you succeed to convince her, and then the next one is you need to convince your parents, of course, including the wedding style itself. If you cannot 100% make agreement with your parent, I think it's look like negotiation, right? Maybe 50% follow your wedding style, and then the rest of the style is follow your parent, or 30-17 it's okay, right? As long as you can run the party itself. It doesn't matter about the style, because the more important is after marriage itself. And then how about the next question? I think the next question is related with, will your wedding
I
ceremony
think this
become
is for the single one, Mas.
for the
This is
single
you
one?
already
But if
married.
if I can,
Okay. If you can share your thoughts or from
no, just kidding. Yeah,
your
because
perspective.
it's only one, right? But if the KUA
You
has
want to remarry.
remarried, yeah. No,
Married for a second one.
not for now, not for now. just
Not
answering.
for now.
If talking about the wedding ceremony in KUA is, if we look as like event organizer, I think the KUA have a lot of ability to set up as a wedding organizer, right? Because they have the regulator sitting there, and then they have like a building. I think just to remake the building to be as a suitable building to deliver, and then to help the wedding ceremony in good manners. And then they need to collaborate with professional wedding organizing. I think it's if the KUA have like business insight, I think that's more suitable for them to prepare the as an event organizer. So yeah, of course, KUA it's not only the kantor catatan sipil, right? It's not only for kantor urusan agama, just for the people who want to deliver wedding party is the cheapest one. But I think I suppose next in the future, KUA is a good organization to deliver the wedding party as well. Thank you, Mr. Masud.
Okay. For the single, probably you wanna share where will you hold your wedding ceremony? It will be in KUA or in your house? with your arrangement. Okay, anyone? Or probably you want to share your experiences for those who have got married. No.
Can I my
Okay.
opinion, Mister?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So if you ask me, will I to how my wedding ceremony in KUA? I don't want to do that in KUA because first of all, because I can get it at the vibe of the wedding that I want, because maybe I wanted to like help my wedding ceremony in other place, such like my home or like another building that can be provided for my wedding ceremony. But for me, I can like to help my wedding ceremony on in KUA actually, because yeah, the five cat they can get it from that place. Maybe I think so. Thank you, Mr.
Okay, thank you, Mas Adit. Anyone? If not, I will share. No, actually, if me for the for the wedding, I will prefer to hold my wedding ceremony in my house due to my strong culture that mostly to these people who have holding a bachelor degree, they need to hold a wedding party in their houses. Because yeah, as I mentioned earlier, that marriage in KUA for the people who hold at least a bachelor degree will be labeled as a couple who have no capital of the marriage. Yeah. So I will say that I will not hold my wedding ceremony in KUA. So guys, our time is over. Thank you so much for the participants. It's been 2 hours. We get some insight from the participants. We get insight from Makassar traditions, Bugis traditions, also Batak, that the budgeting is depend on the couple situations. So Eka, you wanna speak?
Yeah, I want to asking you if you didn't perform your wedding ceremony in KUA, how about your wife and your children mostly? Because the country didn't valid the marriage, and your children will be recognized as outer marriage children. What your opinion about that?
Yeah, actually, in my traditions, especially in Lombok, we can invite the marriage officiants, what we call in Bahasa as penghulu, to come. They will give the marriage certificate for us, so we will not worry about that. So it's the cases will be the same if you hold the wedding ceremony in KUA. So no worry, your marital status will be legalized.
You mean your children still have birth certificate?
Yeah, still, because we invite the marriage officiants, penghulu.
Maybe you mean you will register your marriage ya?
Yeah.
Apa tuh namanya, yang apa sih istilahnya? Kalau nikah di bawah tangan terus di apa, nikah siri tapi dia melaporkan lagi apa namanya tuh? Diisbat. Isbat maksudnya ya? No.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, I haven't got married yet. So I will
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much for asking.
I understand why your answer is so abstract, yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's still abstract. I haven't got married yet.
Sophia.
I'm still single.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She didn't want to fight the cousin, the uncle, and want to against her parent. Maybe she never get into the marriage apa situation ya. I think yeah. So I think mostly the people here, if the opinion is singles, unless Mr. Tommy and me.
Mr. Tommy. So your opinion is not abstract then.
Yeah, because I think if you are single, yeah, you can design the marriage of your own thought. But when you are dealing with your parents, mostly with their relatives, and apa ya mostly I have a close relationship with my cousin, so it's not big deal for me. But with my parent relatives, I didn't know them so close, right? But I have to accept that my parent want my weddings as their event. Yeah, that's the wedding is the most event that we can make our parents happy. So
okay.
that's the yeah, that
Yeah.
mostly what a lot of people they can have their ideal marriage in their head because they have to respect their parents, the everybody.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay,
but I think and the country also didn't want the society is very neglected about the marriage. Yeah, because they are.
I'm sorry to remind you because our time is over.
Yeah, our time is over. The host reminding us. Thank you so much for the host.
Okay, thank you so much for Mr. Mashur chairing us on our discussion tonight. Can you please close the sharing, Mr. Mashur, because I'd like to provide some feedbacks. Okay.
I just want to say thank you so much for insightful discussions about marriage. Yeah, you gave me so many enlightenment. What I have to do before getting married, like the budgeting, and then the considerations like women's education, and many others. Thank you so much, guys. I give to the host. Thank you.
Okay. 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 I mean, like you share your PPT, right? I want you to close it so that I can share mine, not closing the discussion. But okay, it's all right. Anyway, guys, I hope that you can see what I shared you. So yeah, mengalah is not give up, but it's given. And KUA, it's religious aware of this. You want to marry. Jadi kalau kamu ingin menikah itu bukan you want to marry, but you want to get married or you want to marry with gitu ya. Jadi bukan you want to married. Married itu lebih ke adjektif ya. Kamu ingin menikah lebih ke status ya, sudah menikah gitu. Kawin lari elopement kembali lagi. Jadi kalau misalnya teman-teman pengen mengulas gitu kan, pengen meng-highlight apa yang udah di stated before, kalian daripada menggunakan back again gitu ya, kamu bisa menggunakan as mentioned before atau as previously explained atau mentioned gitu ya. Kemudian ada yang terakhir tadi pensiun dini itu bisa pakai early retirement. Oke teman-teman, I think that's all for our tonight discussion. As usual, before closing, I would like you to open your camera so that we can take photo session. Oh my God, Mr. Who you become different. Oh my God. It's been so long, man. Okay, Sophie, Adib, Rafi, Eka. All right. Satria, Mr. Satria, Miss Vera, Miss Raisha, Miss Febri, Miss Puyan, Miss Randy.
Not is it okay?
Okay, that's okay.
Right.
Okay, guys. Okay, all right. So we're going to take picture on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, another freestyle on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, guys, thank you so much for attending these discussions. I hope that I can see you again in our next discussion that absolutely will be so much interesting. Okay, so the last, so when I say Ota, Hail Ota, you say yesterday, we say tomorrow. Okay, so Hail Ota, yesterday.
Yesterday,
You say
say tomorrow. Thank you,
Okay,
Mr.
guys.
Mansur, Mr.
Thank
Sunshine.
you, Mr. Masur. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
See
everyone.
ya.
Thanks a lot.
Ready.
Bye.